Welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of September 26th to October 2nd. So as we start this week, we just came off that beautiful new moon in Libra. The sun is now in Libra. We are in Libra season, which is about relationships, finding balance and harmony within ourselves and in the relationships of people around us. Now, this week is a busy week with aspects and one planet changing signs and one planet changing direction. Oh my goodness. This is an interesting week. This is the last week that we're going to have 6 planets in retrograde for this year. Oh my God. So yes, there's going to be a lot of intensity now with, are you learning the lessons? What's the last part of Mercury retrograde for you? Because as Mercury stations direct on Sunday, this week is going to bring a lot of awareness to your thought patterns, and especially being in Libra season, Libra being an air sign, air being intelligence. Libras are so smart. And they have a propensity to be over analytical, overthinking it, just like in Virgo. We just came out of Virgo season, and Mercury is in Virgo. So we're going to see that kind of theme of, where are you overthinking? Did you learn the lesson? Did you review, reassess, and realign with what is truly important for you this week? So let's start out. Monday, September 26th, we have Venus trine to Pluto. So Venus is what we love and value, and Pluto is about death, rebirth, and transformation. And Venus is in Virgo. These are about acts of service, doing things organized, being efficient, helping people, cleaning, decluttering. Venus in Virgo likes things clean, likes things organized, likes getting things done and being productive. And Pluto retrograde in Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. Oh my goodness. As I record this, it is still Mercury retrograde as well. So, bear with me a little bit. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is about digging up the patriarchy, digging up all of these old things. If you're listening to the US news, it's talking about the founding fathers intended for this. And the founding fathers were a bunch of old white dudes that didn't really have the awareness or the capability or the technology and all the information of today, and yet you're still making laws taking this into account. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, also the Pluto return of the US, is dredging up the past, really about all these structures that we kind of subscribe to, and are they actually real? Do they still apply? And how can we change them now, transform them to be more appropriate for where we are going, which is Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. We're heading in that direction. We got about another 150 years to go, 100 years to go. We're getting that direction, about 130 years ago. So with this Venus trine to Pluto, this is a wonderful day to get things done. This is a very fortifying aspect. So you can really go after decluttering, clearing out things, research, getting to the heart of the matter. This is passion. This is lovely, great for connection with new people. This could be great for romance, increased desire and passion, intensity. This Venus trine to Pluto is, we are intensely driven. Now, positive to this aspect is you can use this to clean out your house. You can use this to clean all of the gutters of your house, to rake the leaves, to get things done outside, to winterize. This is a wonderful aspect to that. Negative side of this is you can get fixated, Pluto, on the little details or where you feel like you're not perfect, or you're not measuring up, or you're being really hard on yourself. Okay, so let's channel this into productivity and looking at how amazing life is for you and what are the opportunities now available to you. Now, also on this day, Mercury is conjunct, so coming to the same degree as Venus. Now, Mercury is in retrograde, Venus is in forward momentum, so they're kind of going like this. Now, it's interesting because I like to look up the planets at the time that they kind of started. So a conjunction means it's kind of like a starting, like they're sort of sowing the seeds. And then as they move into the cycle of opposition, now is whatever seed you planted, is it really holding true? That's the maximum growth. You're sort of like, okay, what do I need to let go of? How am I evolving? And then as it closes the circle, you've finished that cycle and you're starting anew. That's why I love astrology, because we can use those cycles to understand what seeds we're planting. So with Mercury coming to sit with Venus in Virgo, but Mercury is retrograde now. So we're going to have them kind of come together and then apart and then come back together again. So it's a bit of a different cycle, if you will, but something that you planted the seeds of. And it's interesting because I looked at this in my own life. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. July 21st is when the first Mercury and Venus came together this year in Leo. Leo is about what we love and value, our creativity, the things we love to do. So for me, as an example, back on July 21st, that's when we were getting ready to go on our holiday, or we were actually on our holiday at that point. And that holiday is when I got COVID. So on that holiday, I couldn't do anything. I brought a bunch of books. I brought a bunch of like audiobooks to read. I wanted to do all the things. You know what I did? Is I downloaded games onto my phone for the first time in 4 years, and I played a lot of games because it was the only thing I had the mental capacity for before I fell asleep or while I was coughing. So it was very interesting because I haven't played games in a long time. Leo, fun, frivolity, creativity. And in those moments, I realized I was giving my mind a rest. I could just do something that was really fun versus thinking about, oh, my business, or oh, the kids, or oh, I just was present for me as I played that game. So it was pretty cool to think about that. And then, so now we're coming back around here, September 26th, where Mercury will now come together again in Venus, but now in Virgo. So did I learn the lesson the last time? This is like retrograde now. So retrograde meaning, am I learning the lesson? Review, reassess. What did I like about that? What do I want to bring forward from this summer? I took 6 weeks off over the summer. I don't want to get back into hectic weeks. And this week I happen to be starting 3 new courses that I am going to be the facilitator for. So this is going to be a test. Am I being organized? Did I bite off more than I chew? And can I create more space in my schedule so that I can allow for my creativity to exist when I'm not on holidays? See what I mean? See how this is coming together? You can look at these dates for yourself and see what were you doing on July 21st that you are now going to learn to do in a new way here on the 26th of September. And then there'll be one final test this year as Mercury comes to conjunct Venus once again in Sagittarius this time. 4 degrees of Sagittarius, which is right on my moon. So this is going to be interesting on November 20th. So Sagittarius is about higher philosophy, education, long distance travel, having cross-cultural pursuits. It's really elevating information in a way that we are now kind of becoming more specialized, if you will. Whereas Gemini is like all these bits of information, like early childhood, and then Sagittarius is like university, becoming the master of a certain type of information and kind of now putting it into use so then you can move into Capricorn and become the master career professional. So very interesting when you look at this cycle. I don't want to dwell too much on this because we got a lot else to talk about, but take a look in your life. July 21st, September 26th, and then you will see the finish or the culmination of that on the 20th, that you will kind of activate that in some way. So maybe for me, maybe then with all the courses that I'm doing now, I might rerun them at that time because there'll be so much interest, or maybe I'll find a way to automate them and then just show up for the coaching portion, or I'll do something where I'm elevating it to a new level. Right? That information that I've come together. And Mercury is about our mind, communication, information, and Venus is what we love and value, money, beauty, aesthetic. So look at that for yourself. Are your relationships filling you up? Are the things that you're doing filling you up? Are the thoughts that you're thinking in alignment with getting you the abundance that you desire? Right? All of these things are coming together on this day. And then to add a little bit more spice to the mix, we have the Sun opposite Jupiter. Now, many university or astrologers have the thought that Jupiter and Venus, even in an opposition, are wonderful aspects. And that has not been my experience. But I'm going to give you both sides of the coin. So the Sun is our vitality, our egoic self, who we feel we are, how we shine our light. And Jupiter is expansion, optimism, good luck, and good fortune, where we take on a lot, where we're expanding in our life. So when we have these two in opposition, now, they tend to be, it can be very opportunities for success, good fortune, lots of things coming your way. So many things coming your way that you might take on too much, right? So you're over optimistic, you're overly generous with your time and with your affections and with your money. right? And these two signs that they're in is Jupiter is in Aries retrograde, and the sun is in Libra. Libra is about relationships, and Aries is about me. Who am I in relationships, and do I give away everything when I'm in a relationship? So there's going to be a test on this day. Can you be in relationships with others and not have people-pleasing tendencies? The ability to say no when you don't feel aligned with an opportunity, and do you have relationships in your life that are reciprocal and feeding you as well as you are feeding them, right? Your relationship dollars. Are you spending them in a way that they're coming back to you and you feel like your bank is also being filled up? Or are you just sending them out and you get nothing back, right? So this day, there are opportunities to be aligned. Are you picking opportunities that are aligning with who you really are? And again, here's another cycle in play because Jupiter is retrograde. So the sun came together with Jupiter on March 5th in Pisces. So Pisces is about healing, spirituality, compassion, empathy, coming together, transcendence, evolution of spirit, right? It's very flowy. And it would be a time in March 5th where, for me, I remember it just being like, oh, there was no motivation. Everyone was just laying around, where it's like, what is going on? But it was a great time to really spiritually, man, did I have some big wake up calls and during that time with my mediumship on March 5th. Around that date. So even looking back on your calendar, if you're a journaler, you're going to be some nuggets of wisdom here. You can look back on your journal. And if you're someone like me, I don't journal unless there's something interesting that I want to process. But for the most part, I'm a contemplator. So everything is in my Outlook calendar or my emails, right? So I look back on those dates to see what was I doing on there, and that'll jog my memory with what's happening. So look back on March 5th, what was happening for you, because that's when the sun and Jupiter came together. And now the sun and Jupiter are coming together, but Jupiter is retrograde to the sun. So remember, the sun moves a degree every day. Right? He's going around the zodiac 1 degree every day, 365 days of the year. He's going to go around the circle, right? So they came together in March 5th, and then the sun was continuing forward, and then Jupiter went retrograde, and now Jupiter is going retrograde, meeting up with the sun in Aries now. Aries opposite to Libra. So this is kind of this is that continuation what I was talking about of the cycle. So we planted the seeds in March 5th with expansion and optimism and good luck. How do you want to expand your life? What would feel good for your spirit, your person, your purpose, and your passions? Now, as this is coming around, there's a test to that opposition, right? Are you actually doing the things in alignment with what you wanted? Are you doing things? Are you making decisions? Are you taking action in alignment with your soul purpose and your passions in life? And if you're not, where are you giving yourself away? Where are you compromising so that others will just be happy with you, right? You don't rock the boat, so to speak. And then the sun will come back together with Jupiter again in Aries, this time on April 11th, 2023. That will complete the cycle now. And Aries is a starting point. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's a fire sign. So this will be a time where there will be a fire lit in you to get going, to do something. And all that you're learning through this cycle, especially what's happening on this day, you're learning about what you don't want. Clarity through contrast can come through today. So be careful with what you say yes to. Really pay attention to who's in your life that fills up your bucket and who takes away from your bucket. Just notice and realign to that, okay? It's a big day. All right, Tuesday, September 27th, we have Mercury retrograde trine to Pluto retrograde. My gosh, like everything's in retrograde right now. So Pluto trine to Mercury retrograde is really about thoughts, penetrating thoughts. Thoughts that we're thinking. Pluto is transformation, transcendence, but Pluto can also be fixation. It can also be obsession of things. So when Pluto is Mercury's trine to Pluto, we can get fixated on thoughts. We can get fixated on things that aren't working out for us. Now, a positive way to use this is for research, for discovery, for going deep into something to maybe start something new, get a lot of background stories. If you're studying, this is awesome for studying. Are your thoughts keeping what are the thoughts that you keep thinking, and are they serving your soul purpose? This is a penetrating mind. Research, connection with teachers and mentors are also really positive for this day. So again, if you feel yourself like fixating on the thought, you're like, wait a second, I'm going to research how to heal myself or research this thing that's going to help me in some way. Really just go into information and get curious. Why does this keep happening? Why am I thinking this thought? Wednesday, September 28th, we have Mars trine to Saturn. So these are all really lovely aspects, to be honest. There's nothing here that's overwhelming except these oppositions to Jupiter, which isn't that bad. It's just about taking on too much, right? So this is a good week considering all things. So Mars trine to Saturn retrograde. Right? You can't throw a rock without hitting a retrograde in this forecast. So Mars in Gemini is information. It's fast. It's curious. It wants to go. It doesn't like to be held down. And Saturn is about responsibility. And in retrograde in Aries is, are we being responsible to the collective? Are we actually being aligned and responsible to our soul mission here in life? So Mars trine to Saturn, I'm going to say the feeling that I get on this is that it can be a little scattery because we're like jumping to thing to thing to thing. We're multitasking today. We feel like we're getting things done and we're wanting to help people and we're feeling motivated and we want to help the underdog today. This is me a good one. We're motivated to get things done and off our to-do list. There can be a curiosity, knowledge, benefits to our community and responsibility, strength, ambition, passionate about causes, dedication. The only thing is Mars is in Gemini. So Gemini doesn't have a long attention span. It likes to keep things fresh. It needs to have things that are new all the time. So this might be a day where you might feel a little scattered. You get things off your list and you definitely get things done, but you might not have a lot of attention today. That's what I'm going to say, a lot of attention span today. Thursday, September 29th, now till the end of the week, actually till October 5th, Mercury is going to be stationary direct. So it's already starting here on Thursday, but it is going direct on Sunday. So what does this mean? This feels like amped up Mercury retrograde from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay. So what this means is technology is not going to go so great. Communication, you really want to be actively listening and checking back. This is what I heard you say. You want to be careful with who you send emails and texts to and who you are talking shit about, because it can get back to that person. If you are traveling, make sure you take maybe an extra battery for your phone, or I have a portable charger, and then have all of your documents in paper as well, because electronic systems can be a little bit wonky. Okay, if you're using Zoom, give yourself lots of patience. I have clients on these days. Say livy. You don't stop living your life, right? You just slow down and you notice, what is this bringing to your attention? It's bringing you patience, it's bringing you kindness to people and things around you. And you can't get mad, right? So bring an extra book if you're traveling, if you're on a plane, and just anticipate there's going to be delays, because things don't tend to go smooth when Mercury is stationary direct. Okay, so Thursday, September 29th, we have Venus moving into Libra. Yes! So Venus is moving out of discerning, organized, maybe perfectionistic Virgo, and then moving into Libra. Now, Venus in Libra is at home here. This is one of her home signs. Taurus is the other home sign for Venus. So Libra is like, oh, if you've ever known a Libra, they're just so lovely, right? It's the word that they're just Venusian. There's something about them that's just so lovely and kind. They're wonderful moderators and mediators. They can see, diplomatic, ways to take care of things. They really like to find a win-win situation for everything and everybody that they're around. They are more kind of, we as a collective go more into trying to find balance and harmony in relationships with other people. Now, remember, balance is a fallacy. We're always rebalancing in any moment, to meet the people who are around. But that balance and harmony piece is a big part of Libra season. And as we saw with the sun moving into Libra at the fall equinox. If you were there at the ceremony, hey, thank you for being there. It was a fun time, let me tell you. But as we are now Venus moving into this Libra, we're getting more Libra energy. And this is really just a lovely connection, relationship energy. So the benefits of Libra season is we are very relational. We can find wonderful solutions to problems. We want to find win-win situations. We can see all sides of situations. This is a really lovely diplomatic time to be, in relationship with other people, but on the very charming as well. But on the more of the obstacle side of Libra, the plight of every Libra is to find balance with others without giving up all of themselves. The scales is Libra's symbol. And so Libra likes to give from their side of the scale to help everybody else because they don't like confrontation. They don't like conflict. So best say yes. So someone doesn't go, but really, can't you really help out? All the feedback that you might get. And so Libras just say yes, until they have an empty cup and then they get frustrated and then that's it. So what can happen is Libras overgive, right? Can be people-pleasing tendencies, have a hard time saying no, can be very compromising at the expense of themselves, but it can lead to resentment. That's what I wanted to say, and can gloss over deeper issues because it's like, well, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big. I mean, I know why they're like this. They can just see both sides of it. So it can also be a very indecisive time because they're so great at seeing both sides of the fence, so to speak, or both sides of the topic. Pro-con lists don't help during Libra season because it's like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to sit here on the fence. Who's going to win, right? So being very discerning, not leaving that Virgo essence of discernment, and Mercury is going to help us with that. As still it's retrograde, giving us a little bit more groundedness with this. Friday's looking up to be a pretty good day in terms of moon aspects. Actually, a really good day, uplifting, inspiring, passionate, loving day. But remember, Mercury's still stationary direct, so it's intense. Saturday, October 1st. Oh my goodness, we're in the last quarter of the year already. Christmas will be here before you know. First Halloween, of course. So on Saturday, we have Venus opposite to Jupiter. Now, this aspect is going to be in effect for quite a bit of the week because Jupiter is at that 0-degree mark of Aries and about to move backwards into Pisces at this point because he's retrograde. So when Venus is opposite to Jupiter, we have a very similar theme to Sun opposite Jupiter, and that is to take on too much, to say yes in relationships, to be over obliging, over pleasing, being the good person, taking on too many things, emptying our buckets, spending too much money, indulgence. Those are all possible this day, and it's a Saturday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that is a big, big possibility. So be careful how much you are drinking, be careful how much you are spending, be careful with how much you are eating, right? Just remember that you have a good, kind of a responsible limit. Limit feels so confining in this conversation, but you have a responsible level that feels good for you. Like for me, it's half a bottle of wine. If I drink half a bottle of red wine, I'm good. I'm a little bit sleepy, but I'm good. Anything over that, I'll definitely have a headache the next day and I'm going to be really hot all night. I'll just toss and toss and toss. But if it's so good, sometimes I'm like, oh, I just, maybe I'll drink lots of water. Maybe it'll be different this time. The cheese is so remember your limits on this day. You can take on too much. You say it's okay when somebody bumps into you, right? It's like, oh, it's all right. Time, money, overspending, reconsider your inner values. This can be a very frustrating day too. The moon is in opposition to Mars, square to Neptune, and square to Mercury on this day. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenging day, okay? Saturday, and then Sunday, Mercury is direct. And Mercury direct at the 24 degrees of Virgo. This is going to be an intense day. I wrote on here, stay home. Just stay home on this day. It is going to feel very, very intense. We also have moon square to Mars, moon square to Jupiter, square to Venus, and square to the sun. So it's a bit of a weird weekend is what I'll say. Best to just be curious, don't say much, and listen. Just have your listening ears on. And wait to sign a contract or significant conversations with anyone. No big purchases this weekend, please. So you're going to have some regrets down the road, or things are going to be a little bit rocky with Mercury stationary retrograde. Sorry, stationary direct, Venus opposite Jupiter. There's just not good aspects this week for great big investments, buying cars, buying houses, signing anything right now. Just wait a few days, like wait till about October 5th before you sign anything. If you can, if you can't, all right, just read the fine print. Maybe have a lawyer look over things, or have a friend look over it as well, and really be discerning. I have to tell you, like with Mercury retrograde, it's almost like you miss things. So you're just like, how did I not see that? Like I was looking for a cup that I had put on the counter just minutes before. And I'm like, I could not see it. I'm like, I swear I put it out here. I know, a green cup on a brown counter. Like it's not even like you can miss this thing. So I went and got another cup, and there was the cup on the counter. And I'm like, how did I not see that? Like it literally was right in front of my face, and yet, and I was searching for it. It just blows my mind. And I was like, that's totally Mercury retrograde vibes. Is like you just can't see it. And it's a lesson in like, get another cup. Oh, there it is. Okay, go put the other cup back and come back to this cup. And I'm like, all right. I pay more attention, or maybe I don't put this cup down anymore. It just happens to the best of us. And as a Virgo, if you're a Virgo or Gemini, or have Virgo and Gemini heavy or prevalent in your chart, you will be very much feeling this aspect. You are not alone. I've been getting lots of messages from people, and I just want to remind you, this is meant to help us learn something. This is meant to help us become more mindful of what we are thinking, how we are speaking, how we are interacting with people. I just got a message from someone who had a horrible fight with someone very close to her, and she's like, I've never had this experience before. And I'm like, well, it brought something to the surface that needed to be seen. And now this is an opportunity to talk about this thing that was kind of always surface. And she was talking about their communication styles are very different, and how they grew up with those communication styles, very different. And now they're trying to come up with healthier communication styles that are really going to lead to the longevity of this relationship. Everything is happening for an opportunity. So please don't think that the universe is like targeting you and this is going to happen and you suck and you can't get ahead. No, that is not it. There is an opportunity for everything. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to teach me? All right. I'm wishing you so much curiosity for this week, as you're like, this is interesting. What just happened here? People might lose their tempers this week. You might go a little bit overboard in things. It's okay. You're learning your levels again, and maybe just getting reminded that, I shouldn't have the wine and cheese anyway. Maybe just have a little bit. So enjoy your version of wine and cheese this week, with limits, with levels that feel good to you. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And just to remind you, I'm in it with you too. So I'm not above any of this. And it's a wonderful learning. That's why we came here. Have a great week. Bye.